Oh, Alter Bridge, you do definitely worry me. So, Alter Bridge used to be like one of my favourite bands back in the day. Um, I said the way that they're basically a hard rock band, but then I'm orientated pretty much towards heavy metal. I just liked the way that Alter Bridge basically infused so many heavy metal elements with technicality, great playing, long songs, very intricate songwriting and structures and everything. Um, the fact that the two lead guitarists play different things over each other. So as the song's going, there'll be the main riff and everything, but there'll be leads constantly on top of the riffs and everything throughout the songs. There'll be little lead intricacies thrown into the songs. There'll be solos, lengthy songs, high energy, technical playing, technical riffs, technical leads, and just so many heavy metal elements instead of just basic hard rock, where you're basically just kind of looking at a um, few minute track where you just have an intro riff playing chords, have your verse and your chorus, rinse, repeat, and then call it a day at the end of it. I just liked the intricacy, the technicality, the songwriting, just the ability that this band always displayed. Instead, came into it with their second album, Blackbird, where you start getting that technical side, and Miles coming on to lead guitar, giving that new kind of dimension to the band. I said that first half of that album was brilliant. Second half was a bit of a fall off, and then AB3 again, kind of progressing with really bringing Miles into the forefront. Miles comes more from blues and kind of jazz orientated music, so he incorporates that a lot into the sound and the music, while Mark Tremonti is a lot more of that aggressive heavy metal side. So you've got aggressive heavy metal technicality mixed in with blues and jazz playing and influences and style, and also songwriting. And the blend really works well with each other, just bringing that together. And it really kind of showcases itself in AB3. And then Fortress, my favourite album, really going with that kind of more kind of prog kind of style. It was a lot more progressive, a lot more technicalities with the solos and the songwriting. And then even Last Hero kind of extending that. Didn't hit as hard as Fortress, but definitely still working in that line. And then Alter Bridge for me started falling off, and also for others. Walk the Sky was a pretty weak album. Songs were short, solos were lacking across the board. The energy, the technicality, the intense songwriting just was not there. So Alter Bridge would have a lot of energy and just heart and soul in their music and songwriting, like passion, just passion and energy that Walk the Sky didn't really have much of. Like it was there in bits, but for the most part, no. And I said solos with the intricacies and just technicalities are just going to very few and far between. And then when they were there, just not really doing much, especially when you take the first track on the album. First track, the solo is just there for a solo. When you take the solo Ties That Bind, as well as Cry of Achilles, them solos are phenomenal. They are very um, technical, energy, melodic, just well thought out solos. Mark has been on an interview where he says when you open an album, your first solo on the album has to stand out. It has to have an impact. And with that, them tracks, you get that. With the first track on Walk the Sky, and even Pawns and Kings, the album after Walk the Sky, the solos just didn't really have any identity, any purpose. I just saw it as okay, it's a guitar solo, not technically by Mark Tremonti, but any kind of guitar solo. You don't get "This is the legend Mark Tremonti." Like when Sinister Gates does a solo, it's "That is Sinister Gates." When Michael Romeo from Symphony X does a solo, that is him. If Steve Vai does some kind of lead, that is Steve Vai. If the guitarists from Metallica do a lead, that is them. Because it's like, it has that style, that playing, that energy, that creativity, the masterclass musicianship of them guitarists. The solos in Walk the Sky and Pawns and Kings, for the most part, are more just generic. They're not well thought through. They don't have energy. They don't seem to have much in the way of passion or care really given to it. So I've been falling out with the band. I've reviewed on my channel Pawns and Kings and Walk the Sky and got a lot of backlash for it. For basically saying, oh, it's one of the best, it's one of the best. And then given time and everything for the album to sink in, fans have come and said that Walk the Sky is one of the worst albums by Alter Bridge. Yeah, I remember getting a lot of hate in the comments for basically stating the obvious, that it's just lacking. It's just musically tired. And the same with Pawns and Kings. People said that was the greatest. Now, looking back at that from what people say, it's again down at the bottom. I wonder why. A lot of the fans seem to really eat up whatever Alter Bridge brings out. It's just, oh, it's new, it's great, oh, it's the best thing ever. And then given time, when they calm down a little, instead of jumping up and down, they see it for what it is. Which is technically what I do, but I see it from the start, instead of jumping up and down like a child and getting overly excited, and then eventually learning and looking at it and going, oh, actually, yeah, there's these issues. And so Pawns and Kings had some decent songs, like Fable of the Silent Sun is definitely one of the best in them too. It's a longer track, it's a lot more of an intricately well-crafted track. The solo between Miles and Mark both doing really, really well. But with this new album that's coming out, self-titled album, and this track Silent Divide, first single off of that album, and the opener of the album as well, may I add, Alter Bridge are looking to change. Alter Bridge have stated that the previous two albums they've written apart from each other. They don't write in the studio together. They are not in the studio together, just putting their ideas together and working together. They just sit in their own kind of areas, homes, studios, whatever, and just send stuff to each other and just go, oh, well, we know how to write Alter Bridge now, so it's like, oh, yeah, that sounds Alter Bridge, we'll just throw it in. And then they don't think about it. And it's like, you're just getting stuck in your ways at that point. And another thing that's happened is back in the day, it's like Alter Bridge was the main focus. Now, Miles has been playing with Slash. He's got his own solo project, and then he also has Alter Bridge. Mark has his solo project, Alter Bridge. He's now going back into Creed, and then he also has Frank Sinatra. So he has to write and be creative, both of the guys, in all of these projects, tour them, write for them, be creative. And then when it comes to Alter Bridge, it's not, oh, I want to make an Alter Bridge album. I feel inspired. I've got something creative to do for it. It's, well, no, I've done all these other projects and the albums and I've toured them. So this is the gap for Alter Bridge, unless I'm going to have to basically miss out for something like 3-4 maybe years, because I have to work on all the other projects. So if I don't force something here and now, I will have to miss out on Alter Bridge. Therefore, it's not, I feel inspired. I got something to say. I've got something to write. I feel like I want to make an Alter Bridge album. It's, no, I have to. I have to write an Alter Bridge album. I have to do this. I have to make this. That's really what you want to hear from your band. Basically coming out and saying, oh yeah, I had to make this album. Just had to do it. I'm literally just trying to force anything creative. Yeah, that sounds really enthusiastic, that. And they are actually in interviews, you can find them, where they do say, yeah, I have to. So the difference with this album now is they're trying to basically make music like AB3, Fortress and everything, so the old school style. they are also in the studio together this time. It's still a time period where they have to make this. So that's no different. It's not basically they've waited until, oh yeah, I really have something for Alter Bridge and I'm really excited to do this. It's no, we had to. But other things have changed. So what does that lead to? What does this mean? Well, this is a 5 minute track. It just makes 5 minutes, which is technically long for the previous two opener tracks. So again, it's like, so the song's longer. It's good, showing a bit more of the progressive side to it, which is what they're used to. Um, it doesn't really have a great intro. As I say, Ties of Bind, that intro with Mark and Miles coming in and everything, and that high energy, the vocal intro of Miles. Cry of Achilles is a phenomenal intro, which has layers upon layers upon layers. It just really builds into that song with layers and technicality. This is, yet again, it's a riff that Miles does, and then Mark comes on top of it and copies the riff. So there's no Miles does one thing, Mark does something else. Mark does the riff while someone else does a lead, and then there's a little lead thing thrown in, which they've done in the past. No, there's nothing of that. There is no bluesy, jazzy riff that Miles is throwing in. There's no lead that Miles puts over Mark. They're just playing the verse, the chorus. So not really exciting, not really high energy as they used to have. Not a great introduction. I say it's better than Pawns and Kings. That first track, I just immediately just came in, and that was it. No build. So at least this is, it's Miles, then Mark, and then the rest of the band eventually kind of come in. So it's like, it's something, just not much. But anyway, I'd say the song, even though it's long and everything, it has a feel, a sound that is kind of like Fortress and AB3. So it's like, okay, so they do sound like they did then, but I'm not fully getting it. And it's again, when you look at the fans, it's like, oh, this is one of the greatest things they've ever done. This is probably going to be the best album. It's one of the best songs ever. Absolutely brilliant. I love everything about it. And I can't take them seriously because there's no critical anything over it. It's just, it's great. I love it. It's the best thing ever. I love it. It had a riff. What a riff. That is not constructive. That is not being a critic at all. So, yeah, the issue I'm having is, yet again, the fact is they are trying to write like they did. They are Alter Bridge. They know how to do Alter Bridge. So it's like they're writing in that style. But I don't get the heart is there. That energy, as I said, with they're just playing a riff. It's just a riff. That's it. I said as to for Ties of Bind has that great introduction and high gain energy. Same with AB3. Same with Cry of Achilles. And just absolute energy, creativity, musicianship. This is they start with a riff, and yeah, they're done. Well done. It's just like there's no energy. There is no passion. I just feel like you, in this day and age, it's basically like what has happened is you have given this to AI and say, do Alter Bridge of Fortress and AB3. And it's like, okay, so they've took the foundation and then AI has just done it. But as I said, the human element is kind of just missing. I said the bridge section's a bit more kind of interesting. It sounds like a bridge technically of that era again, so yay. Miles has a solo. It is an unbelievably terrible solo. It comes and goes in an instant, and I'm left thinking I don't know what the purpose was, what he's trying to say, what he's trying to get across, the feeling, the journey of it. It's just what. So that's kind of disappointing. I said the only great thing about the track is actually Mark Tremonti and his final solo. I said the course of the last two albums, Mark has been vacant beyond belief and has been writing really basic solos that could be anybody. He's lost his identity outside of very few and far between, as I said, like Fable of the Silent Sun and the few others. But for the most part, it's like if you were to make a compilation of Mark's best solos, it's not really going to contain much from them two albums because they're not his best. And that means he is really fallen short of recent. I put this as one of his best. The solo has creativity to it. It is well written. It is like it has a start, a middle, and an end. It has a journey. It has melody. It's well thought. It has technical ability to it. It's a long solo. It's not short and basic like any bloody solo, any basic guitarist. This has his melody, it has his style, it has the creativity, it has the technicality, it has the musicianship, it has the length to it, it has his heart, it has his feel. I feel he cares. And I haven't felt that from him in a long time. I really like this solo. As for the song, it's better than most of what has come because it's like it's in that style, but yet again, it's not got that energy or that heart. And I believe the album is going to be more in lines of that, where it's going to be like, okay, there's going to be good solos, it's going to sound similar to what they've done, but it's going to fall short because it's just not going to have that energy and that care and passion to it that them albums had at the time. Because they wanted to do it, they cared. I don't think they care at this point. I just think they're just making it because they have to. I say if they didn't do it, Alter Bridge wouldn't have an album. He'd have to miss out. When it comes time for Tremonti, when it comes time for Miles, they have to do it or don't. They're forced. And then they're creatively in so many different projects, putting creativity into that I just think it's spread thin. At this point, I just think the best thing for him is really take a hiatus. I don't care of this is where it fits, therefore we have to do it. No. Do it if you want to do it. Do it if you feel like you got something to write. Some people have been talking about the fact that they thought that this is Alter Bridge's last album and they're finished. And it's like, it does sound like they don't care anymore, but I just really think they really need to just not do an album unless they feel like wanting to do an album. We want to do an album, we've got something to write, I feel good about this, I'm excited. They're having fun together, they're all being very creative together instead of, oh, we're all here, what have you got, what have I got, oh, I've written this, or I'm trying to do this. It's just, that just doesn't sound good. So yeah, it's a step up. As I said, Mark Solo's great, but I still think they're just not got that same passion and energy and creativity that they once had. It's just a band that seems hollow, that are just basically just writing what their previous work was, trying to capture that again. I say it's basically just a foundation without any of the actual infrastructure really being put in there. The heart, energy, passion, it's just missing. So, I say, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to get another great Alter Bridge album and have something great to listen to. It's better than listening to nothing. So I hope that they prove me wrong. And so we just have to wait and see. But as usual, when it comes to Alter Bridge, I'm worried. But we'll all just have to wait and see.